Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to River Falls Esports. We're in the playoffs this week. We're playing a familiar team of University Texas at Dallas. I'm here, as usual, with my co-caster, James. James, how are you?
Doing great, Gavin. Thank you for introducing us. As you said already, River Falls is in the playoff bracket. We have been the, the fourth seed?
Fourth seed.
Fourth seed, going up head-to-head against the third seed, I believe.
Fifth seed.
Fifth seed, actually.
Fifth seed, yep.
Should be placed higher than
We got
these
real
folks.
close ones.
Yeah, I was about to say. We have actually encountered this university before. This is the University of Texas at Dallas, I believe.
Yep.
And this was a very close set of games the last time we encountered them. I believe it was week 1. We obviously are very akin to, or very well established, I should say, with their jungler GOAT. We have seen them rock our world before. However, we do have another piece of news from the jungle side of things. We have a substitute right now. Unfortunately, Peach could not be with us here today, but we do have a fantastic substitute in Sparkle. Sparkle being on the Ivern for game number 1.
This is going to be a really different mix-up, I think, to how typically we see River Falls in the jungle, especially just in the game as general. Perfect. So that's great. So, I mean, I'm excited to see these movements. Ivern's going to be a little bit different speed, maybe play a little bit safer, but definitely be able to lock down with that Q, give us some extra supportability, give us some extra bush coverage, and then, of course, the Daisy popping out of the ground and rocking some lanes.
Yeah, I think Daisy's actually going to be a really good pick in a Nefiri. From what we were able to overhear from the draft talk from Coach Gentlecore, the mastermind, the madman he is, you know, creating this Frankenstein of a team that is going to have one of the most incredible miracle runs throughout this entire bracket. I believe that the Nefiri was actually picked after the Ivern. So I don't want to give too much credit here, but it might have been a mispick because Ivern can block the Nefiri ultimate with Daisy. I believe Nico Clone can as well, which is something that was brought up from Coach Gentlecore. And the Ivern is really good at taking out those little wolves. That is something that a lot of players actually don't do. That's where the majority of the damage is going to come out of this Nefiri, especially in that late game with her pack of whatever 8 wolves, the max capacity that she can get. And Daisy with that, I believe it's the third auto attack that Daisy has, is that line ability that is a knock-up that can one-shot all of the wolves. I mean, at the last time I checked, who knows what has happened between Fury and Ivern way back when I used to play the jungle role.
We do have a lot of AoE on this team with Aatrox, Qs, Irelia, just kind of, it's almost AoE, but she is more single target, but Smolder laying down fire, and then Nico with that E and that Q is just going to be able to lock down lane, really control these wolves, keep those dogs at bay.
Now, the Ambessa in the top lane was picked away from Arrow Hunter in the mid lane, something that we know he's hyper comfortable on, and it is going up into Elezria's Aatrox. We know that he is super comfortable on this champion, very, very dominant, and can potentially carry the game if it goes away. So I think that this Ambessa pick isn't as much so being used as a carry pick as Ambessa usually is, but more so to just soften this Aatrox pick.
For sure, and yeah, and we are in Fearless Draft, as, again, I believe, so the Renekton is still available for Elezria, so hopefully we get to see that in Game 2, something he's also very familiar in. But yeah, I want to move down to this bot lane with this Smolder Nico, which, you know, Wadsworth really comfortable on this Nico, has shown a lot of prowess on this Nico in the past, you know, kind of being at the right place, right time with these stuns and really doing some damage. And then Eerie is really just kind of in his element on bot side, just being able to sit back, farm some stacks, you know, just do Smolder things for the first 15, 20 minutes of the game, and then really just starting, not to chip away at the enemy team, but just chunking them completely.
Yeah, an Enchanter-heavy legend that we know and love in the bot lane right now, as Wadsworth is picking up that Nico, another ranged character, something that we're used to seeing him on, as the Karma was actually picked away, another character that we're used to seeing him on, a very, very well-known champion, as the Karma Seraphine is a complete classic with this River Falls bottom lane. But the Smolder pick I am super excited for. This is something that we were cheering for as it was selected in the draft, as it was between the Smolder pick or a potential another pick. I won't spoil it if it comes up into a future game, but you know, it's going to be very familiar to Eerie regardless. However, we did save the best for last, and it's going to be the mid lane. I am super happy whenever Arrow Hunter is on the Ambessa pick, but I can't stress how excited I am to see him on the Aurelia.
Yeah.
This is going to be a feast or famine game, and I can't wait to see how it's going to go because it's going to be a bloodbath regardless.
Yep.
This is one of the most aggressive players that is on the team, especially now that we are really unaware with this new jungler, how aggressive he's going to be, probably going to hold back, especially with this Ivern kind of playstyle. That means that Arrow Hunters needs to step up and make these initiating plays, which Irelia, I can't think of a better champion to do.
Yeah, he's really going to be exactly where he needs to be in trying to force these one-on-ones with especially Orianna, which we've seen him take this matchup before on the Irelia, and he
Solo kill.
He won those early
3
games.
times.
So he's very confident on this. We all know, we all love just seeing how aggressive he is and how much he's able to just force down this lane and really just pull through. And maybe he needs a jungler. Maybe we'll have Ivern focus on this bot lane. Maybe we'll have Ivern focus on the top lane. We're still kind of, I guess River Falls as a whole is kind of still trying to figure out through the course of this season, and maybe even getting ready for the next split here in next season after these playoffs end. But still trying to find out where we want to kind of feed towards, if we want to maybe look for objectives, maybe play towards the bot lane more, maybe play towards the top lane more. But definitely, I think mid lane is going to be really solid and set on where they are. It depends on, we'll just have to see where this Nefuria goes.
Yeah, I think River Falls has really found an identity as this season has progressed. I'm so proud of them. And they've gotten so far in the bracket, and they've come so far, but in the end, will it matter? Yeah. We'll have to find out, and this is the first game to do it. I believe it is actually going to be a single elimination bracket, so this is a do-or-die moment for River Falls, and we have nothing but confidence in them. Now, River Falls, let's talk about that cohesiveness of the team. Let's talk about the team comps as a whole. We've talked about the lanes. We've talked about the ganks in the early game. Let's talk about the late-game team fights. How do you think that this is going to be swayed, especially how much we've seen Arrow Hunter, just to specify on one individual again, how well he's done on Irelia in the team fights. It's usually a single target champion, but he has 5-man ulted before.
Yeah.
In fact, I believe it was last week that we saw it happen. So a lot of these big team fighting plays can come from this mid lane. How do you think that that's going to shape up after the fact?
I think he's going to be, towards later game, Arrow Hunter on Irelia is going to be a lot quicker. He's going to have a lot more defense. Depends on how Texas at Dallas responds and wants to play around the Irelia. Maybe it's directly into the Irelia, but Texas at Dallas does have a lot of later game heavy champions with the Yunara, Orianna just laying in massive amounts of AP, and then also CS, or CCs, excuse me. And then Ambessa is just also going to be really tanky, really heavy. So I think, as usual, River Falls is just going to have to really pick and choose who they want to look towards, pick priority targets, and then kind of just go from there. I think the Orianna is obviously going to be a really strong first pick. Both teams do have a frontliner, like a frontliner tank initiator role, and then Karma providing a lot of shielding and a lot of survivability for Texas at Dallas. Yunara kind of just going to be an artillery, like kind of mid-range artillery, same with Orianna. And then it is looking really similar on the side of River Falls, except they're going to have an extra count when Daisy comes out. Oh my gosh, Arrow Hunter has already chunked over half of Orianna's HP.
It's going to get a heal off of the precision as well, so
goodness
really
gracious.
Well done. That's exactly what we're expecting. We have a little bit of a trade and a scuffle going into the bottom lane. Wadsworth forced to flash out. This may spell doom, but no, the heal is going to be expended and get him back up to about a 10th HP. Well done from Wadsworth, but unfortunately the summoner spells have all been extinguished for the Nico. At least it's only level 1. It's not too bad. You can heal up with those pots. However, something that I wanted to point out in this early game is just look at the spread. Rewind your tapes.
Yeah.
Look at the spread of River Falls in this river. This is incredible prep that we're seeing. Eerie got early smolder stacks by sitting in the bush where the jungler would usually be in, able to use that range and that Q to build up those smolder stacks before the countdown or minions have even spawned. Countdown didn't even begin yet. Arrow Hunter, instead, opting to sit up and help his jungler out by warding up the camps for the Raptors, keeping the Nefuria away from a potential invade, which Ivern is very susceptible to. And instead, the Ivern hovering in the mid lane, somewhere that you're not used to seeing the jungler, especially pre-1 minute. And just making sure that there's going to be no sneaky plays, especially 5-mans coming down that mid lane that's going to gank Arrow Hunter out. So everybody watching each other's backs before the game even begins. That's something I really like to see.
And to your point there also, I really like Mr. Wadsworth on the Nico for this matchup and really to this complement for Smolder, because Smolder wants to take as many minions as possible. Smolder wants to just stack and stack and stack. And what Mr. Wadsworth can do on this Nico is push the enemy off of their lane, push the enemy off of CS, and they don't need to really rely on last tapping minions or hitting minions under half HP, or I guess it's a third HP since they're a ranged character, to take and fill up their support item. So it's kind of like the good old days before they just kind of made World Atlas and combined the two styles of support items. And so Mr. Wadsworth can still just stack off of hitting enemies.
Yeah, Sparkle Force Flash. Arrow Hunter is going to secure first blood by dashing over and taking out Goat on the Karma. It is going to be traded out. No, it's actually not. Eerie is going to get a double for River Falls before the Ivern eventually falls in that team fight for the Neferi. Now the Orianna is there to back him up, and Wadsworth is sent back to the grave. Eerie trying to put in as much work as he can, but no, it's just going to be Arrow Hunter. Arrow Hunter actually picks him up, and Eerie, no, never mind. Eerie actually gets that kill. What the hell just happened?
Big ol' snot blob came out.
It is unfortunately a 3-4 trade favoring the side of Texas, but River Falls made them work for it. And now Smolder has a lot of stacks going.
Huge flash by Alezria.
Oh my gosh, JXU forced to flash out. A lot of minion damage is going to be taken up, but he's going to be able to heal. Alezria now sitting on the back foot, going to try and dash forward with the E and use that W to try to get some damage out, but it's not going to matter. The damage has been done from JXU, and the lane state is perfect for this Aatrox.
I would love to have an instant replay, not only to see that that flashback into the W cast by Alezria, but just that fight in Drake Pit by River Falls, as they were kind of getting just cornered from all sides by Texas at Dallas, and they were looking really worse for wear. I was expecting them to lose 2, lose 3 before they even picked up, 1 or 2.
Dive.
And we're getting really close with Sparkle Butt. UWRF Sparkle Butt is here. He's able to protect his Alezria back. But River Falls was looking really worse for wear during that fight, and they ultimately came up really even for how it was looking. Arrow Hunter was looking incredibly weak and just like one tap away from death, and he scoops back up, I believe with his E, just targets and executes that Orianna first.
Oh my goodness. Well done from River Falls. Unfortunately, they just don't have the damage there yet. I think the team fight couldn't have gone better.
Yeah.
It was just simply the Ivern pick, which can be very, very useful, but not before pre-6. Like, that is when the Ivern cannot fight. Unfortunately, Sparkle was forced to flash early in that fight just to get out of the Drake Pit. Arrow Hunter went in to try and secure Fierce Blood, which did end up happening. However, the trades went back and forth, and Sparkle wasn't able to help the team as much as Airy was.
Ooh!
And by the way, I'm saying Airy, not Erie. I'm trying to hold my Midwest, Minnesota, Wisconsin pronunciations of things. But you understand what I mean. Once Sparkle has, what do we call her, Daisy online?
Yep.
That's when the Ivern is going to be able to hit hard and play around these objectives.
Yeah, and River Falls needs to still continue to be careful. They did just lose technically that fight, having it come out to a 3 versus 4, but they still need to be aware. They've got good vision. They can see people coming in. They're setting up for Drake here. Texas at Dallas definitely has a feeling that they have the upper hand. Unfortunately, Orianna looks like got all of those kills, and Neferi got 1 of them, so Orianna's got 3 right now. But that means more gold and a bounty for Arrow Hunter to pick up.
Mm-hmm. And with that Reaper Scythe, that's exactly what you want to see. And look at the Irelia CS compared to the Orianna. This is absolutely unbelievable for a ranged character with a speed boost and a double, what's the word? Not a shockwave, but a basically double the amount of opportunities to CS from a range because of that orb Q that she has. I cannot believe that Arrow Hunter is stomping this hard in CS and still being able to squeak out a kill and an assist on top of it.
Right. And I love this. We don't get to see. We don't get to focus on top lane too much.
Showing off.
But he's really like he's a really like. Oh, what's going on? He's level 6. JXU's also level 6.
He has TP advantage as well. What happened to JXU that he was forced to TP up, but still is missing out on more CS than Alezria? Alezria has him in the palm of his hand. JXU might as well rename himself to Pigeon because he is eating the scraps out of the palm of Alezria.
Yeah, Alezria was able to back out of that fight a little bit early, and so he was already in Fountain when JXU had started recalling, but Sparkle Butt was there to kind of protect that wave, to kind of watch that wave, and that just Alezria was like, you know what, I'll save my TP just in case we need it. We're going to have a fight here, Drake Pit.
Ooh, yeah, a lot of poke damage coming out from Texas, but River Falls is quick to respond.
Orianna
A
dies to the
trade
Drake
right now, but Eerie will fall. It's just going to be up to Arrow Hunter, but he's out of mana. Go brought down to about a 4th HP. Can he be finished by the mid laner from River Falls? No, it's going to be a 4K, and unfortunately the Drake will be re-tagged and rehashed for the side of Texas. Meanwhile, in the top lane, JXU trying to take a trade with Alezria, but Alezria knows better. He's able to take the betterment of that trade, especially with all this lifesteal. The public execution is going to come through, but the ultimate was also popped from the Aatrox. So many heals from this auto attack and the passive procs. JXU licking his wounds, pulling back. Alezria brought down to about the same amount of HP. Anything can happen between this Aatrox and Bessa matchup. Junglers coming up as well for the side of River Falls, but the Orianna is rotating as well. So many red wards and so many blue wards all in the same area crammed together. The vision game is nuts for both of these teams.
And that's Orianna dropping a little bit of a wave. Looks like they were able to pick up some CS against Arrow Hunter here as he took it back. Alesria offering to back before the Orianna gets there. Unfortunately loses the control word, but uses that teleporter to get back, so really doesn't lose a whole lot, and is going to have to push JXU to also recall, so he gets that whole wave for himself too.
Yeah, that's incredible. Alesria is going to be sitting so pretty with all of this gold and all of this CS under his belt. Aatrox will be able to hit first item, presumably, before the Mbessa, picking up perhaps an Eclipse. I don't exactly know what the Ruby Crystal builds into it. I don't believe that's Eclipse. Is that Titanic? Or no, Ravenous? Or regardless of what it is, I'm going to assume that Eclipse is going to be picked up from Mbessa. However, I think that Alesria is going to outpace him in the gold game. Unfortunately for River Falls, though, they are behind in gold as a cohesive team unit. Unfortunately for Texas, the gold difference isn't too staggering, and once Erie is able to scale up, I think that the rest of the game is just going to be done and dusted. Might as well just be an email.
It is Orianna is looking a little scary, maybe for River Falls. Has all 8 takedowns, 100% kill participation. So I think we're definitely going to hopefully see Sparkle, but kind of hovering around mid lane. But I think Orianna is just really scared of Arrow Hunter.
Yeah, even with the Hex Tech gun completed, Arrow Hunter is still dominating the lane somehow. And the bounty was picked up earlier in that fight by Arrow Hunter, so well done by him. Meanwhile, there's going to be a trade going in. The W comes out, and it will be the Chains of Corruption pulling him in, actually.
We have the jungler coming
JXU taking a trade with Alesria. Alesria does not have the vision, does not know that the dogs are there. The Howl will be called. The ultimate from Aerie will be popped, and then the flash in return. Alesria getting some backup now from Arrow Hunter. The TP will be extinguished for this Irelia, and a lane swap is coming through.
Public execution online for Mbessa here. Fortunately for Alesria, he had his ultimate a little bit earlier, so he was able to ult, see the Fury coming in, ult him, but get out safely. And, you know, had he stayed under that fight, Arrow Hunter would have been there. Maybe could provide a little bit of backup, but probably got executed there by Mbessa. But River Falls looking really stalwart in this game. You know, if a fight comes to them, they're taking it, and they're not, like, looking for anything, which is great to see.
I think a big thing for River Falls is just staying vigilant, understanding where the enemy rotations are going to be coming from. This is going to be a given for a lot of teams when you're playing at this level, and I think River Falls understands that. And this is exactly what we're seeing right now in the bottom lane, taking a lot of licks just to clear out the vision. Erie taking a huge chunk of damage. Wadsworth forced to flash out in order not to be rooted up by Goat's Karma Q. Meanwhile, in the top lane, we're going to see some more trades, but Sparkle Burst is actually going to be the first to rotate here. He may be spotted out. Yes, he is spotted out by a red ward, so the Mbessa knows that the Ivern is there. Looks like Sparkle is just going to recall instead of pushing his luck. JXU now there gets rooted up from Sparkle. Sparkle shielding himself to make sure that the Mbessa is not dealing any lasting damage, and JXU gets away with his life. Blue Aerie, everybody knows on River Falls where he is now. However, he clears out the ward. We don't know if he's going to be rotating into the bottom lane or the blue buff. We as casters know that he's on the blue buff, but I'm saying the River Falls doesn't know.
I want to say right before Erie and Wadsworth recalled there, during that little tussle, right as Erie flew over the wall with Smolder, Wadsworth transformed into Smolder and just put the little clone there and tried to run away. So it was kind of like a, "Wah, look at me!" Like,
smoke bomb!
Yeah, exactly. That was kind of awesome.
That's what we're seeing from Wadsworth, though. That's really well done with the Nico plays. Understand? Ooh, actually, before I can continue, though, both ultimates are going to be popped from the top lane. The public execution lands under turret, and there's going to be a lot of turret shots landing onto the forehead of JXU. Alesria still with that ultimate, and the Aatrox passive can heal up from this low amount of health. Is a dive going to come through from JXU? It looks like it will be a yes. Blue Wave now pushing up into this top lane. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane and the mid lane, the stun comes through from Arrow Hunter onto the Orianna. Orianna brought down to about half HP. Meanwhile, into the bottom lane, the redemption will be popped for River Falls. Wadsworth trying to get Erie out as much as possible, expending the heal and as much abilities as he can. The ultimate from Smolder goes huge, landing on 2 members of Texas, but not enough to net a kill. The Ivern Bushes are going to hide up the member of River Falls. No targeted abilities here, my friend. You are going to be safe.
They sniffed out the Nefiri. They're like, I know that dog's around here somewhere. I can't get you. I can't have you boys getting caught out. And, you know, right as that public execution went out, if I'm Alessio, I'm scratching my noggin. How did Mbessa get away with that execution under turret range? Seemingly 0 turret shots went out. What the heck, man?
It's unbelievable. Tunneler is online for Aatrox, but Mbessa is hitting a spike with this large hammer right now.
Okay.
Lesbury doesn't want to take any extended fights, instead opting to push the wave into
He's
himself.
holding this lane. That's insane.
Really well done. The mountains will rise as the second Drake is picked up for the side of Texas. However, River Falls does have time to pick up all 4 of these mountain Drakes in succession. Excuse me, not sequestion. In succession. So well done from them. And this is something else that I really want to say. Oh, actually, before I continue about the spiel about how River Falls is playing so well as a cohesive unit, Ivor now hovering around this top lane, making sure that Alessio is going to be safe, and he will. JXU is instead going to pop the back. But as I was saying, this is exactly what we want to see from River Falls. We were not skeptical, but there is a certain level of uncertainty when implementing a substitute player in the playoffs with the high stakes of this game. And I think that all the players seem very relaxed going into this. They had a really good mindset about this. Very, very proud of them. And I'm not sure if the Falcons are going to play around this new jungler of Sparkle, or if they're just going to have Sparkle play around them. But regardless of what happens, it's going to be interesting to see how the Ivor can slot into this team. Goat flashes over the wall, trying to get Eerie up. Eerie does get rooted, but Arrow Hunter is there for the support. Goat brought down to about 1 HP, is not able to pick up any kill. Arrow Hunter now has 2 kills to his name and a Bork under his belt. Orianna with 3 grubs now pushing into the mid lane, but Sparkle is there to back the tower up. The wave will be cleared by the Ivern.
Arrow Hunter's coming up. Orianna's in the, but they're both in the bush. Oh no,
I don't think
Hunter's going over the
Orianna yet, but top lane, there's going to be a big scuffle that ensues. JXU now taking a bit of damage. Wadsworth going to be ulted on. The Hounds of War have been called. Smite is going to be expended to secure the kill onto the Nico. The Nico will fall back, but it may be too much of an overextension from Texas. Eerie gets a shutdown, but Eerie takes a lot of damage from the ultimate from Gen Falsey. Gen Falsey then picks up an enemy ADC. The gank in the top lane is going to be unsuccessful, for River Falls. However, they did get a big shutdown on the Smolder in the bottom lane, and Essence Reaver has been completed. Alessio brought down to about 1 HP. The passive will proc, but unfortunately is too much damage from this Eclipse.
Let's go!
JXU
Come on, Daisy!
is going to be damage from Daisy and Sparkle, but then flashes forward to do up everything else. JXU is now going to be on the hunt for this level 9 Ivor, and Orianna is going to be there for the support as well. JXU getting a lot of those shields from the Orianna as well as the Eclipse proc. Goodness gracious, this is not what you want to see from the top lane of River Falls after such a dominant lead.
Yeah, and River Falls still trying to keep up. They took a turret on bot side. They were trying to set up for Rift Herald there, and still are going to try and look for Rift Herald and really try to push up some lanes here. But I mean, Texas at Dallas is really just kind of everywhere. It seems. We're having fights. We're having fights, and we're having tussles just every spot, every moment at this point.
There's no downtime in this game.
Right.
This is what we come to know and love about River Falls, though. You give them an inch, they'll take a whole mile. You give them a finger, they'll take the whole hand.
Leslie's looking to see what them boys across the street are doing on Rift Herald.
Ooh, Gen Falsey dashed out of the stun from Arrow Hunter. Now Arrow Hunter is going to be put onto the back foot and gets outplayed from Falsey.
The flash.
Falsey's going to be on a killing spree into the bottom lane. Unfortunately for River Falls, the gold lead is slowly getting away from them, but hope is here, and hope is in the name of Eerie on the Smolder. JXU now getting the shield from the Eclipse, but it goes straight through from the Q of Aatrox. Aatrox is now Lesbury. He needs to be really careful here. This Aatrox is going to be really squishy when it comes to 3 members of Texas diving in the Orianna tanks, but it's not going to be enough. The wave will be cleared, and this may potentially be the Rift Herald for 4 members of Texas crowding around this top river.
Ooh, bot side here on River Falls moved up to mid trying to take this turret, but Eerie might be caught out here. There's 3 people coming up from the river.
Yeah, Wadsworth is going to be the one that they target. The Hounds of War are going to be called, and the shockwave will be popped. Wadsworth sent packing back to the base. Sparklebutt trying to root as many players as he can, but it only lands onto 1, and they're already on top of Eerie. The W is going to be used from this Nefiri, but it's not going to matter for Eerie. Goodness gracious, Nefiri, Eerie, Airy, all of these rhyming names. It's very hard to keep track of things, but the point is River Falls has been done and dusted in the past 2 team fights. It may just be up to Arrow Hunter to claim all of these shutdowns on his own.
You know, this is really a test run right now with River Falls. They're going to come back. They're going to learn a lot from this game, as they usually do, see what kind of their strengths were, and maybe realize that the Ivern unfortunately wasn't the pick here. But, you know, he has that really early redemption. He's been able to do a lot of utility with that, and Sparklebutt really still trying to to learn how to really play around this game, around this team. And I think since Texas Dallas has taken a lot of these objectives as they come, where do you go? And they made a really good play on trying to take out JXU on the top side, but unfortunately just got ganked up, and River Falls just keeps kind of trying to make team plays, but unfortunately get picked out one by one. I think that's their main problem right now, is they just need to stay really tight-knit, unlike they're doing right now. Arrow Hunter is rotating up towards the top side as Sparklebutt is just getting hit up by this team.
River Falls jungler will fall, but Arrow Hunter is there for the back end call. Chains of Corruption are going to land on a goat. He is going to be the first from Texas to die. Wadsworth may be the next from River Falls to fall as well. All three members on the blue team have been blown up, and River Falls is sent packing back to the base. A triple kill for the Orianna. But River Falls did pick up something. They did get goat, and they did get Eerie in the process. Unfortunately, picking up the jungler after your jungler has already died doesn't really matter when it comes to a Drake fight like this.
This Orianna is huge. They have a Shadow, what is that, Shadow Flame?
Yep.
Whatever it is,
Shadow
does
Flame.
a lot of AP and a lot of
Penetration,
magic resist
too.
penetration.
Yep.
So having that Ludens also, and the Rod, and the penetration boots, like how do you show up against an Orianna and not be scared?
Yeah, River Falls target prioritization is the key here, and I think Arrow Hunter had it correctly, ulting in on both of the squishy members that were sitting right there in the Drake pit. Unfortunately for him, Orianna was able to use that speed boost from, I believe, her E to get away very, very quickly. However, Goat was just stuck in the Irelia ultimate and wasn't able to get out. That's why he was able to die so fast. But after Orianna was able to get out, she was then able to turn back around and splash some of that kite damage, and that's where River Falls really fell apart.
Yeah, it looks like Texas Dallas trying to set up here for Otacon, or at least get some vision here and try to maybe lure River Falls into a fight they don't want to take. But Alesria is kind of up here. We haven't seen Alesria really stand out in these team fights, so hopefully we can see some get made here, as Falsey is really just unfortunately getting chunked by the turret they're trying to take down.
Nobody is there to follow up for the kill, though.
Not sure why Observer is focusing up on this recall when there's everybody over here surrounding Drake Pit, trying to clear some vision from Texas at Dallas and get some vision of their own set down. Texas at Dallas has got a lot of red wards going on, and they're going to get this Scuttlebug as well to get them some extra vision.
Yeah, River Falls looking a little scared right now. They knew the Yunara was on the top lane, but they didn't know where anybody else was, so they were just trying to get some of that vision on the bottom side of the river. Rotating Arrow Hunter up to clear that wave, ensuring that the tier 3 on top lane will not fall yet.
Drake not up for quite a while, so this is all just for Otacon here, as they do catch out Goat. Wadsworth with a great E and a great stun, and Daisy's putting in some work. River Falls opting to back out here as Eerie, their ADC, is alone on mid lane fighting JXU. The redemption comes in, the shield is procced, and the redemption heals, and JXU will fall to the turret. Let's go, Eerie, give it up, boys.
Oh my gosh, the flash forward, the barrier, the heal from Mom, and the redemption all at once was too much for JXU to handle, and that's a big Ambessa bounty going into the pocket of ADC carry Eerie himself.
A solo kill, too? I mean,
that was unbelievable.
You lost Otacon, but really, did you lose?
Wadsworth now popping the ult is only going to stun up, or rather root up one Goat, now caught in the clutches of Arrow Hunter. Arrow Hunter gets rooted up, and Goat is forced to flash away. Alesria is there with the ultimate, but it may be too little too late. All of his friends have been slain. River Falls yet again losing a team fight, but off of the back of one of the most incredible solo kills we've seen. Can Eerie hold down the fort after riding that high?
Come at him. He says, "This is my turret. Come on." All right, the Rift Herald. Scully's coming in.
Oh,
here,
I see what you have.
Really chunk down this damage, but Goat's looking for something here. This Orianna's got does not have the shockwave available. Oh, okay, fair enough. Fair play. He is taking on that top turret too, and Eerie's still up. He's got some friends with it. Wadsworth is back. Sparklebuck's gonna be back in 5 seconds, and Texas Dallas is trying to get another shot on with Scully here. Let's see if they maybe get punched for it. Oh my gosh, the Karma's taking it all the way down the bot lane. Oh, and out to tier 2.
Tried to take it to tier 2, but it died to the tower shot.
I see. Good getaway, and they didn't give River Falls the money for taking down Rift Herald as well. So, good macro play.
Yeah, well done from them, and I think this is a good learning experience from River Falls. I think there's a lot to learn. I think River Falls is good at flexing around teams that play like this, especially ones that appear very dominant in game number 1. River Falls can adapt immediately going into game number 2. However, I'm speaking like we're preparing for failure. This game, you can still come back from this. The gold deficit does look nasty. There is a lot of Drake stacking going on right now in the hands of Texas. However, Erie is still scaling. You cannot put this Smolder to bed just yet. Wadsworth going to clone himself as a minion now.
You know, we've seen this.
Oh, Hold Breaker on Irelia.
We've seen this from Arrow Hunter, I think, every single game that he has played. Irelia. He builds this Hull Breaker, and it just goes for full attack speed, full side lane clear. So let's see if it'll pay off for it. I definitely would rather have him in team fights and really, you know, laying into these squishy team members like Oriana and Yunara and Karma. But we'll see if it pays off for it. He's going to try and push some waves and recall, and looks like he's going to opt to group up with the team. As we can see, some folks are kind of a little bit everywhere here at Texas Dallas. One person's up on top lane, 2 are on mid lane, and 2 are on bot side. Erie and Lesria together, maybe going to make something happen. Erie pushing up and doing a real chunk damage. JXU here. Blobberry is waiting for his moment to strike, and we're setting up the calm before the storm.
Notice that Erie has hit 225, so that 5% health threshold execution is online for this Smolder. Team fights can go either way. As long as the Smolder stays alive, Erie needs to stay healthy if River Falls has a chance to survive.
Blueberry looking for something in the back. JXU tanking up some turret shots. Maybe, unfortunately, River Falls is going to pop the redemption and pop it back, and Blobberry's going to, I guess, be completely unfazed by that turret shot.
Arrow Hunter is still hovering, just in case his team wants to make a play.
There's a lot
but
going
no.
in here.
He pulls back. There's 2 super minions right now onto the Nexus turrets. Erie taking a lot of damage, but Goat gets rooted up. The Smolder ultimate Mom will be called down. Oriana is now there. The Shockwave will land on a Sparkle. Sparkle down, brought down to about 1 HP. JXU claims that kill. The ultimate from Wadsworth is not going to be enough. Arrow Hunter trying to back his boys up, but it's not going to be enough as well. Lesria now sitting on the back foot behind the tier 2 turret in the bottom lane. A triple kill for JXU on this M-Pesa. They're marching down to the bottom. They may want game number 1, and I think River Falls, you know, they're not going to come out of this mad or sad. They're going to come out of this hot-blooded.
Yeah.
They're going to come out of this wanting a victory, wanting that sweet taste again. I think that's what we're going to see yet. However, I've been wrong before. The game isn't over yet. Arrow Hunter may be able to make a miracle play here. The stun does land on a 2. Goat and Falsey will not be able to deal enough damage to the turrets, but the remaining members of Texas will. Both Texas turrets will fall. Wadsworth and Sparkle, but now the remaining players for River Falls sitting into the fountain. Sparkle, but trying to maintain his KDA, but it's not going to be enough. Oriana just simply does too much damage with the Rabadon's death cap. Game number 1 will go towards the University of Texas at Dallas.
Rabadons and all that magic pen. What can you do? Oh my gosh, it just melts squishies. There's just nothing left once that orb be upon ye, for lack of a better word.
Yay, plague upon you. It's like Eminem throwing the
orb
rat.
upon you. Yeah. Throwing out the shockwave like the old times.
And unfortunately, game 1, this is not exactly where we wanted to see the game to go. However, as we stated before, River Falls is a very flexible team, a very innovative team, and a very adaptable team. We believe that they can make up the difference. In game number 2, the series is not over yet. We still have a lot of league left to play.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to take a short break, but don't go anywhere. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are in game number 2 with the University of Texas at Dallas facing off against our home team here at the University of Wisconsin, River Falls. We have draft on the screen for you right away. Take it away, Gavin.
I'm ready for it. We had a long break, but we're ready for it. We won't talk about what happened during the break, but now that we're here, I mean, we get the Renekton, we get the Wukong, we get, again, the Smolder, so I guess I was wrong. I guess it's not Fearless Draft because they also have the Aatrox for JXU. But, I mean, let's talk about this top lane. We get the Renekton against his very familiar counterpart, Aatrox.
Yeah, this is actually very interesting because, again, we're used to seeing Alesria on the Aatrox, but now Renekton into Aatrox. Renekton isn't going to be able to capitalize on the shield breaks as much as a lot of other matchups that he could potentially be into. However, I think it's still going to be enough of a sustainful match for him that the Renekton is going to keep this Aatrox suppressed and scale just as well as the Aatrox, if not more potentially, as long as River Falls can team fight properly and have good target prioritization. So I think that this is just an even pick in the top lane. I think that we're still going to see some action as we're expected to see.
A lot of health regen by both sides.
Exactly.
So with this Wukong, this is something we don't see from River Falls. This is going to be a new pick also, just like that Ivern. But, sorry, Sparkle Blood is going to be on this Wukong. Just blanking for a second. So I'm excited. This is going to be a really different play style than that Ivern was last game. So hopefully we're going to see a lot more gank potential here and a lot of more movement from this Wukong. And Wukong, also a great pick against Gwen from what I can just see by looking at it, because he can really get up in Gwen's face. Gwen has no availability to really fall back, protect herself, and position properly, because Wukong is just going to be right up in there.
She does have a fallback with her dash. However, Wukong also does have an E key, and the range is far exceeding what the Gwen can dash out of. So yes, the Wukong can contest this Gwen in a lot of the fights, potentially going for maybe some Drake Smites, some steals, or maybe just some casual 1v1 in the jungle. As we've talked about the Gwungle before, and it has some very interesting quirks that you can play around if you know how to.
Yeah.
Now, rotating back into the mid lane,
this is
something that we saved for last prior, but this time I just want to talk about it straight up, is Syndra. Again, we're used to seeing it, but it's not on Arrow Hunter this time around.
Yeah.
Instead, he's opting for the Lux pick.
This is going to be a really safe pick, I think, for River Falls, so they must want to really lay in some damage here from Smolder again and from Lux, and just have 3 frontliners just kind of going in, taking care of everything, whereas Arrow Hunter and Eerie are kind of just going to be in the back lines, just peppering in damage. Lux also available for a little bit of support with the barrier. But, I mean, late game, if Arrow Hunters wanted to, he could just build ability haste. We can get that ultimate popping every, 20 seconds.
Yeah, it's very interesting pick into a Syndra. However, I think Lux is going to have a lot of utility. And this is something that Arrow Hunter doesn't usually play as much as we're used to seeing him. He does play a lot of the Galio, which can be utility. However, we're most familiar with him on these carry champions, especially the melee carries in the middle, such as Mbessa. We've already seen the Irelia, things such as this. But the Lux is a very interesting burst mage pick, and I think it's actually very good into Syndra, especially considering that the alternative would have been potentially a melee champion, which wouldn't have been as good into Syndra as the Lux. I also think that Lux is going to provide a lot of healing and sustain for the Smolder that Rel won't really be able to provide a lot of, at least as much as some of the other enchanters that were used to Wadsworth playing. So I think that Lux is able to slot into that pigeonhole and kind of corner the market on the healing, the shields, and potentially bolstering the Smolder stacks early on in the game.
For sure. It's just like top lane, this is going to be a really even, really tussleful match.
And this is exactly the name of the game, as I already said it, is scaling. River Falls really wants to just scale. Wukong, we got to wait for the Trinity Force spike, or maybe he wants to build a cheaper Sundering Sky first. That's totally fine as well, but we got to wait for these power spikes. The other thing that we got to wait for, especially for these late game team fights, is the Smolder 225. The execute is so powerful as long as we have enough peel to keep the Smolder damage coming. I think that's why the Rel pick is very, very pivotal in this team composition right now. So much peel. You have the crash down. You have the shattering strike. All of these are knockups and stuns. You have the Magnet Storm. The suck. It's basically an Orianna ult, but it's on top of Rel's head. And all of this is going to be in the name of keeping the enemies off of Smolder.
Yeah, this is going to be really, really valuable for River Falls, having the 3 tanks, 3 frontliners that they do. I think this is really going to give Erie a lot of space to move and a lot of space to really capitalize on all of the hard work that he's doing with CSing and stacking on this late game powerhouse.
Now, here's the thing. Do you think it's going to be more bloody than the previous game, or do you think it's going to be a little more passive this time around looking at the team comps? Again, we don't have another enchant. We don't have an enchanter v enchanter matchup in the bottom lane. But we do have mage v mage in the middle lane.
I think this is really hard to say since it's River Falls. I really want to say we're going to be coming out of the gates a little bit stronger than we did last game. I would love to see Arrow Hunter just absolutely bully Carlos on the Syndra. Both have some arcane. Oh, actually, just Arrow Hunter's got Comet, and then the Syndra's got Ares. So they're going to be still doing a little bit of chip damage. Arrow Hunter, as you said, going to be doing a lot more burst damage. And I don't know. The Braum is going to really push back on the bot side and armor up. Falsy's also going to be on that Yunara again, so really going to be bolstering up that Yunara. But I'm hopeful for some bot side action. I would love to see some ganks towards the bot side and giving them some love. I would also love to see them try to funnel Arrow Hunter a little bit and get some ganks in and really try to push back on this Syndra. And River Falls was looking to maybe make a move there on that Yunara as they did have her pinched up a little bit.
Falsey stepping out, potentially giving a stack to Erie is not how you want to start the game. I think University of Texas learned from their early mistakes. I think River Falls in the game 1 had such a good pre-minute setup, getting all the vision that they needed, getting the smolder stacks early, having each individual player backing up another but being where they needed to be. And I think Texas is working around that right now.
Yeah, I think I would love to see a slower game, but I also, coming here to watch River Falls every week, I'd love to see a faster game, and that's just what we're going to see, except from Texas at Dallas, as Wadsworth is just getting bullied. Erie is still over here on his, just in the lane, just kind of hanging out. Wadsworth does have the W available in a couple seconds here, possibly going to jump in and sacrifice his life so Erie can live and not get sacked with first blood. And the first blood, unfortunately, for Texas at Dallas goes to Braum.
Yep, Braum level 1. This is something that a lot of commentators in the League of Legends scene talk about. You cannot contest a Braum level 1. He's running Aftershock Ignite. You knew that this was going to be coming. Wadsworth did not even have to use that Ignite. However, unfortunately, Erie had to use that barrier just to live for a couple seconds longer. Proved to not be any more of a difference maker than if he were just to die right away. But unfortunately, giving over a kill. Good news is the Braum was the one who secured it in the end.
Yeah, and unfortunately a lot of CS getting lost in the wind as Erie was able to stack off of champions here a little bit, but on his long way back to lane, it looks like Wadsworth is going to step out of lane, so Erie can get a little bit of XP here and hopefully get ahead. And Lesria is really just shoving in this lane onto this wave, and he's fighting against what he was just fighting as.
Yeah, it goes airborne from the Chains of Corruption. He already used the Slice and Dice to get through a couple minions, so JXU was able to capitalize on that, bringing Lesria down to about half HP in that exchange. However, Max Fury is built up. He can use that Q to heal up a little bit more and keep that sustain going. Not going for Conqueror, though. It looks like he's going for, I can't quite see exactly what his rune was, but it's definitely not Conqueror.
Or press the attack?
I believe it's press the attack. Yeah, press the attack instead, so... not a lot of healing coming out from the Renekton other than his Q, but there will be a lot of healing from JXU on the Aatrox, and I think that needs to be accounted for.
Definitely.
Staying aggressive, though, is exactly what we expect from this Renekton. A, he's playing Renekton. B, he just hit level 3, so he's going to have all 3 abilities, which is where a little bit of a power spike in the early game. And C, he has Doran's Blade rather than Doran's Shield, so he wants to keep that engaged going. The Braum stun is going to land on Wadsworth. No, it's not. Yes, it will. Double flash is going to be traded out from the supports. Wadsworth is now sitting onto the back foot. Goat is blocking a lot of the damage from the shield. Shattering Strike will land on a Goat to press or to inhibit the attack, but Erie is brought down to about 1 HP as well. Falsey doing so much damage right now. Sparkle was a little bit late to that exchange, unable to help on this Wukong. Instead, all 3 members of River Falls are going to have to back and lose this wave.
Yeah, looking really unlike River Falls as we usually like to see. But, I mean, this is a really late game comp. We're just going to see it, we're just going to talk, and we're just going to have to bide our time and wait for something to happen.
They're going to lose a really big wave here and potentially lose a plate. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Lesria did, look at that learning, though, save the Slice and Dice to get out of the Chains of Corruption. That's what you want to see from this Renekton Aatrox matchup.
Yeah, and as long as Lesria can pass through a minion, he can dash again. That Renekton E, hopefully trying to keep his tempo here. And Wadsworth and Erie are really putting into Goat. Hopefully pushing back Goat so that he can't support his ADC, and that's exactly what's going on. Is now Wadsworth and Eerie are really trying to lay into Falsey. Goat's here. The stun's going to get popped off on Wadsworth as he's back up under turret, and the Ignite comes out from Braum. Another kill going up for Braum.
This Beth Braum. 2 kills to his name and 100 gold bounty. Goodness golly. Falsey was out of mana on the Yunara, but it doesn't really matter when you have lethal tempo. You can just stack those auto attacks and continue getting that buff. Slice and Dice is going to get out of the Chains of Corruption, so Alezria will maintain his own soul in this top lane, not losing it to the hands of JXU. However, in the bottom lane, they are a little bit more worse for wear. 1 death is going to be on each of these players. However, they can bounce back. My biggest concern right now is going to be the level differential. Falsey is probably going to hit level 5 off of this next wave or 2, and that means that the Yunara, if things are going to keep going this way and the pattern is sure to follow suit, the Yunara and the Braum are going to get ultimate before Eerie can even get his big mom.
Yeah, and Texas at Dallas trying to look for what they did last game and really just beat River Falls out of these objectives, trying to gear up here for Drake Pit as Bloob is sitting around looking for a little bit of a gank on these level 4, level 3s on the bot side, healing up a little bit. Sparkle is close by.
Double ward.
We
can never be too safe.
Happen.
Again, this early game Braum, this is something that people warn about all the time. Rel is going to be so impactful coming into the late game. Unfortunately for the early game, Braum just simply outcompetes the Rel in every single scenario. That Braum passive is just so strong. The projectiles, the slows, everything that he can offer into these early game skirmishes. I think that's why Texas is setting up for the Drake, because of this bot prio. Will River Falls contest? Or will they leave the Drake to its own devices in the hands of Texas? We'll have to find out.
They know Sparkle's there. Carlos from Texas at Dallas is walking up to try and keep that Wukong off. And that's really just uncontested as River Falls just doesn't know how to approach this Drake.
The ultimate is available for both members on the top lane. The stun will go off. The Slice and Dice gets out of the Chains of Corruption. Nobody trades too much into this top lane. Instead, the middle lane is where we want to see a lot of this damage coming out. Unfortunately, it's on to Arrow Hunter. Carlos, 1 full level ahead of this Lux.
Also with that Lost Chapter providing a lot of utility in the mana department.
Eerie getting a lot of these good smolder stacks, stepping up a little too far, so Goat does some chip damage onto him. Alezria did use the Slice and Dice, but ended up getting hit by the Q2 anyway. The Chains of Corruption are going to pull him back. The Dominus will be popped and the Q just to get that heal off. But JXU has an ultimate of his own. He's forced to flash out. JXU might flash forward with the Q. Yes, he does. The Q3, rather the Q2, does land to claim a feat of warfare. And the 3rd kill rings very loudly in the hands of River Falls.
A 3-0 now for Texas at Dallas as Goat and Falsey still pushing up on this bot side. It's JXU's pushing up on the top side, and then Carlos on mid is just rolling up with some CS and rolling up in the dough right now. Arrow Hunter does have teleport on cooldown as Alezria also just popped his. No real utility here from River Falls available till Wadsworth and Eerie are up on level 6. We're still just waiting for our time to go. Hopefully Sparkle Butt can stay on top of his jungle. He's rotating over to Grubs right now as it looks like Texas at Dallas is already there. Alezria and Sparkle Butt trying to make something happen as Eerie and Wadsworth, as we're looking, are just pushed under their turret.
Good lane control from Eerie, though. That's exactly what you want to see from a Smolder. In case you didn't know, once he hits about 25... Ooh, just before I continue that thought, though, Arrow Hunter getting a lot of damage down on a Carlos Crunch, but there's going to be no follow-up. The Wukong is nowhere in sight, instead sitting on the back of the Grub Pit. All the Grubs are slowly going into the way of Texas. Yes, they are. All 3 will be claimed from the University of Texas at Dallas. River Falls a little too slow to the punch there, but a lot of damage done to Carlos. Arrow Hunter may be able to make something of this, perhaps even getting a plate.
Eerie's waiting. He's got the ultimate available.
So this is something I was going to say about the Smolder is he managed the wave so perfectly by not trying to last hit the entire backline. Ooh, the ultimate from Goat will go wide, then land onto Eerie. Mom will come through to heal up the Smolder, and he is able to get out with his life after expending Mom and the barrier.
His ultimate got blocked by Braum Wall, I think. By Braum Shield.
So there's no damage from Falsey. Falsey may dash forward and flash. We'll have to see it. No, doesn't even have to flash. Goat instead flashes out of the crash down from Wadsworth. Wadsworth gets stunned up from the Braum passive. Meanwhile, in the top lane, JXU is now in trouble. Sparklebutt using that Wukong ultimate, but he's just healing so damn much. The ultimate from Lux comes through and does a lot of damage, though, and that's the assist from the mid lane. Wadsworth now in a lot of trouble as well, trying to take out Goat, but instead it's going to be Falsey that takes up so much damage. A double hit onto the ADC of Texas, but no deaths. plates going into the opposite direction.
Ooh, a big plate going in for Alesria here. And honestly, really good call from Arrow Hunter, just popping in for a little bit of damage and popping in to grab an assist and going back down to bot side or to his mid side. Whew, hopefully going to be able to catch up to this Syndra. Yikes, a lot of stuff going on everywhere now, maybe?
No, Arrow Hunter
Not
has
quite.
to flash away Root.
Oh, the
but
barrier
it's not
comes in.
It's not under the tower. Carlos Crunch would have
Love
taken
it.
up so much damage right there if that Root landed on the tower, but he was just outside of the range. Now Airy is able to raid the entire jungle side from Sparkle after that gank in the top lane. It did bail out Alesria from this poor matchup, but he did lose his blue buff in the meantime.
Yeah, Arrow Hunter wanted to stay, wanted to make something happen here against Carlos, but just unfortunately too much utility is available. Wadsworth and Erie going in here on the spot side. Wadsworth with an amazing double stun here, but unfortunately gets stunned out by Braum passive. Sparkly is here, but trying to keep the Gwen off of his lane, but they opt to fight it instead, and Braum is right in there, right in the middle, and he's going to fall maybe just unfortunately too far out of the grasp from River Falls. The jungler, the support, and the ADC will all fall for River Falls, and back to the fountain we go. This Braum is looking real buff.
Yeah, unfortunately, his Braum is simply just too strong right now with those shields. He's able to block up so much of the damage, and a lot of the damage that was going to go on to Eerie was actually blocked up from the Gwen W as well. So, unfortunately, River Falls dumped their entire kit onto abilities that couldn't take damage, really. And I think that was really well played from Texas. Unfortunately, River Falls was just caught a little bit with their pants down right there, getting counter-ganked with the Gwungle coming in from the top side of the river.
Yeah, and Arrow Hunter doing a lot of damage there to Carlos, but unfortunately didn't have the ultimate online and just needed like a little bit of extra damage. Unfortunately, all the CCs were on cooldown.
And this is exactly what I was saying, though. That fight could have went River Falls' way if Wadsworth was level 6. He just hit level 6 right there.
Oh my gosh,
Goat,
he's so
it brought down to about 1
big.
HP. Arrow Hunter really wants to make something happen, but instead the Shattering
Not
Strike is going to be
again.
expended instead to zone out the Lux. Goat no longer
Oh
has
my
Flash
goodness.
or Ultimate. This may be a playmaker right now for River Falls with no Braum ult. Drake is up.
Yeah, the alternator is also available for Lux. It looks like that ultimate's coming down off cooldown really quick. It's going to be great for Arrow Hunter, just trying to pop that as often as he can, kind of using that just as an extra ability rather than a full-on ultimate. But oh my gosh, he's going to get laid down. Almost pops the stun off on Carlos under the turret. Turret will get in a shot, maybe two, but Carlos is really just, brushing it off his shoulder with apparently his first kill.
Unfortunately. And every lane is simply hurting. Like I said, the last team fight, Wadsworth didn't have level 6, so the Magnastorm wasn't there. Now the mid lane, Arrow Hunter isn't able to make magic happen onto Goat because he's simply too far ahead, has so many defensive items. However, River Falls may have a glimmer of hope as the top lane gets ganked successfully again. The Wukong claims that kill. And now, maybe looking at a very close Trinity Force. Gen Falsey takes that damage. The Bronze Shield is not going to be enough. The Barrier and Flash will be expended from Falsey. Both Summoner spells are gone. The Lethal Temple is stacked up too much for Wadsworth to deal with. The Rail will die after that exchange, but both Summoners have been expended from Falsey. Goat now may be in trouble after taking a turret shot. However, the Gwungle is now hovering, trying to take out Eerie. Eerie is very, very smart, though. He understands
Eerie,
exactly what's going on. Unfortunately, the Gwen is simply too far ahead. The Baron's, the Nasher's Tooth is going to be too much. But from downtown, the slam dunk master himself, Arrow Hunter, is able to pick up a entry frag, claiming the life of Falsey and securing a shutdown from a 6-0 Yunara. Now Airy and Goat are putting onto the back foot with Sparkle and Arrow Hunter, both at about full health, trying to make some magic happen. The W forward from Sparkle Blood isn't going to be enough, and now Blueberry is sitting on the counteroffensive. A shutdown for the Lux goes into his pocket yet again. Arrow Hunter now brought down to about a 6th HP. Blue tries to dash forward, but it's not going to be enough. A triple kill and 3
River Falls is not out of this fight.
No, they not at all. Lux claimed all of that and got all of that gold. Eerie now may die yet again from a very fed Syndra in the mid lane. Unfortunate for him. However, on the other side of it, the Lux is now bringing the game slowly back for River Falls.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic row and a great response from River Falls. We love seeing them play as a team, even if the rest of their team comes in as part of the team's already fallen. But absolutely wonderful follow-up, and unfortunately, our Hunters barely gets caught up by that Yunara blast.
Yeah, the ultimate from Yunara gives her a little bit of a speed boost as well, making that dash super, super useful for mobility. This champion cannot be caught and can chase you down to Narnia as long as the ultimate is active. So, unfortunate for Arrow Hunter that Falsey was able to get that off cooldown the second he was retreating from lane. However, the damage has already been done, and now Hex Tech Gun is online for this Lux.
Yeah, Riverfall's not losing their cool, not doing anything stupid. You know, we're just kind of trying to farm our lane still, trying to stay in this fight, not taking any fights. But again, as the fights are coming to us, we're taking them and really trying to make something of a bad situation. 14 kills on the side of Texas and 5 on the side of River Falls.
There is still comeback potential, though. All the objectives have been claimed from Texas, but they can't split their all of their decision-making across the entire map. They will have to make some of these trade-offs, and that's where River Falls will shine. Wadsworth getting 2 ticks that Braum passive, make that all 4, gets stunned up, but he's super, super tanky.
Oh,
the shields will be used, and the shield from Arrow Hunter will land true, but it's not going to be enough. So much damage just comes out from Falsey. There's going to be yet a third gank onto this top lane, but JXU just heals so much from the Sundering Sky and the passive procs from this Aatrox. Now Ari is there to back up his boy Alezria. The Dominus goes down. He's not able to get any of that Fury passively taking up, and Ari slays the Gator.
Yeah, and Ari was unfortunately fell during bot side during that whole tussle. Just unfortunately getting rushed up by the Syndra. Just ulting that, all those balls flying at you. It's just not what you want to see.
Texas with some good macro on the top side. JXU was able to claim that tower while Bloob was in the Rift Herald, so he was able to sail right past the Tier 1 and crash it right into the Tier 2. Both turrets will get destroyed in the same 5-second interval, and Texas gets so much gold from that. Falsey stepping up a little bit too much, takes a tower shot.
Hello.
Maybe River Falls can make something off of this. The tower will go down. Braum Shield comes out after getting rooted up. Shattering Strike is still no, it's actually not. Shattering Strike will not be available, so no members of River Falls can be knocked up from this Braum just yet.
Oh, and we're at a stalemate. Ari's just trying to stack on the bot side. He's like, don't worry about me, guys. I'm just going to stack. We're going to be on the side.
We scale.
That's all this game is just, you know what, we're back to the fountain, but we scale. We're back to the fountain, but we scale. And I did hear, you know, we're okay with giving up the first 2 Drakes as long as we push for this third. So as soon as this third is up, or when there's a minute with a minute left for it to spawn, I think we should expect River Falls to really try to make a move there. If not, hopefully rotating to take a separate objective or a turret or 2 in its place. But really, River Falls is still trying to find their groove. Unfortunately, working with a new jungler can be hard, but Sparkleblood has been working really well with Alezria, trying to shut down this Aatrox, and they have gotten lucky here. Arrow Hunter getting ultimate here by this Braum, and Wadsworth is coming to the rescue, just going to lay down his life on the line. Set up for some damage coming in by Arrow Hunter, and Sparkleblood is just right up beneath him. Alezria is also here. So much health just chunked down off this Wukong, and the Aatrox ultimate, or the Aatrox teleport, comes right off the side of top lane. The ultimate gets popped, gives him some extra movement speed, a bunch of life regen, a bunch of health period, and he just shuts down Alezria as well.
A good attempt from River Falls. Sadly, the damage just wasn't there. Erie was sitting onto the bottom side just trying to scale the best he can, and Arrow Hunter had a lot of his cooldowns still on cooldown. Arrow Hunter, the shield will not save him. 1 Yunara auto attack will send him back to the grave. The dragon has spawned, and it looks like the Gwen is already on top of it. Now, River Falls trying to make something happen as JXU is sitting onto the back foot. No, he actually goes forward. The Q1 lands onto Erie, but not much else does. Jen Falsey now popping that Yunara dash. He may be vulnerable right now. The flash out from Erie is complemented from JXU's own flash. Lands onto an auto attack and goes right back up to full health from the Sundering Sky proc. Wadsworth and Sparkleblood are the last ones. No, just as I say that, Alezria is actually on the backside. A big shutdown from the Croc. Now JXU is also trying to make some of his own magic happen. 1 kill will go into the way of this Aatrox. Will any more? Sparkleblood and Alezria are trying to 1v2 as much as possible. Carlos Crunch is trying to make a little bit more support known across the entire board. And I think River Falls understood that, but it was simply too late. They weren't able to retreat in time. The flash was used from Sparkle, but the Syndra was already there to pick up his life.
They're just trying to throw out as much utility as they can. They are clearing these minions and really trying to push Texas at Dallas off of their turrets, but it's just not enough as they just have health as a resource here with this Braum and this Aatrox just being able to protect and then heal so much, stay in these fights, really prolong these efforts from River Falls to push them back and say, you know what, we stalwart, we stand strong, we're here. and we're not going anywhere.
You can't blame River Falls, and specifically you can't blame Wadsworth or Air Hunter to falling for that play. Nobody could have expected a Braum Flash Ignite, not Cataclysm, Seismic Toss, all at once going right after one another on that mid lane. That was unfortunately very, very difficult to deal with and impossible to dodge as Arrow Hunter's flash was already on cooldown. And as we know, Lux doesn't really have any movement abilities. So Arrow Hunter was cut out. However, he did live for an extended period of time because Wadsworth was just such a homie, crashing and dashing in there. I believe even using the Magna Storm just for the sake of peel on that Braum.
Yep.
So well done from Wadsworth to read the situation and understanding that his life is forfeit and it doesn't really matter. Arrow Hunter is the priority here. We need to keep him alive as much as possible. And Wadsworth understood the mission. Ooh, an unfortunate catch out, though. Just as I'm complimenting him, Arrow Hunter gets caught out and jumped over the wall. The seismic shove will land onto 2 members of River Falls. The clone mate. No, I was just about to say the clone was actually the one that got hit. The Wukong almost made it out, but no. 3 members of River Falls fall in quick. 4 members of River Falls fall in quick succession. It is going to be all up to Alesria on this Renekton to hold the line. A lot of damage coming down, but he does have those heals. He just gets stunned up a little bit too much before he can use it. And it looks like the University of Texas at Dallas has shown up today despite having a substitute jungler. However, River Falls had a substitute jungler of their own, and I have to say, he did not do too bad.
I'm
well done to Sparkle.
I'm excited to see what we do. I mean, we're going to have a little bit of a prolonged break after this. After this playoffs has concluded for River Falls' run, unfortunately getting knocked out in the first round to Texas at Dallas. And, I mean, it's a lot of league to play. We played a lot of good league this season. We played a lot of questionable league this season. But I think this is still a team that is really new with each other. There's a lot left, and we will be back, and I believe stronger than ever next season. So Absolutely. I'd love to see it. We're going to get a little message from our coach here with what's going on. We have one more game next tomorrow for NECC, another league, as their NACE run is over. But River Falls is going to be here tomorrow at 6 versus Purdue. Should be a great game.
University of Texas Dallas put up a very good fight, knowing that River Falls beat them into the dirt earlier in the bracket and earlier in the season. So they did come back stronger than ever. They sensed weakness because River Falls was still trying to adjust to their new jungler, which, like I said, did very well considering the circumstances. But they did get the better of them. But like you said already, the league team is not out yet. There is still a whole nother league to play. Stay tuned for that. However, just for tonight, we are going to sign off. Thank you so much for joining me here, Gavin.
Always a pleasure. Happy to be here.
Yep. Have a good night, y'all, and stay frosty.